For Americans, the attacks in Norway are a reminder that sometimes the greatest threat of terror may be close to home. The question is, are we any safer now from homegrown terrorism? Joining us is Randall Larsen, director of the Institute for Homeland Security. Mr. Larsen, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
We see something like this, and I think people here wonder exactly how safe are we here in the United States from homegrown terrorism? Can you protect people from this type of thing?
Well, certain aspects, I think we're safer than we were on 9/11. That's because the FBI has done an incredible job penetrating certain groups, both on the right extreme end of the spectrum and on the left, whether you're talking about the Ku Klux Klan or the environmental groups that have done over $300 million worth of damage here in America. And then, of course, there's the Al-Qaeda spinoffs here in America, and the FBI has done a pretty good job penetrating them. The problem, though, Chris, are the lone wolves, and you earlier had mentioned the Unabomber. He went on for nearly a decade. And this lone wolf in Norway was incredibly smart, even though he seems very disturbed mentally. But, you know, he had beets on his farm, so he had a reason for buying fertilizer. Very difficult to detect someone like that.
The FBI, and you've mentioned some of the groups, the domestic terror groups in the United States, and the FBI says these groups are alive and well. They've identified a number of groups and individuals. Who should we be most concerned about?
Well, the greatest concern we have, and I was the executive director of a congressional commission that looked at this recently, are if a Unabomber type individual who happened to be a microbiologist. Because if someone were to make a sophisticated biological weapon and attack a city, we wouldn't be talking about deaths in 100 or 80, whatever this one was. You could see 10 times or 100 times more. So that's our concern at the WMD Commission, and why we said America needs to be better prepared to respond, because it's so difficult to detect that lone wolf. You can't intercept their email or go to their meetings like we can these groups. So it is quite a challenge for law enforcement.
So what then is being done to protect people against these lone wolves? When you said if you can't intercept phone calls or emails, I mean, how do you find out who these people are, where they are, what their motivations are?
A more informed and engaged citizenry might be the best thing. And for instance, that's how the Unabomber was eventually detected, was his brother turned him in. You can't tell me that there are not people in Norway that did not know this guy and know how crazy he was, and they're probably asking themselves this morning why they did not go to the law enforcement. This individual was severely disturbed, and I think that would have probably been the easiest way for him to be detected prior to this event, if someone who worked with him or knew him or in his family had gone to law enforcement.
Colonel Larsen, thank you for taking the time. Good to talk with you.
Thank you, Chris.